So how's it going, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we're doing a Master Duel deck profile, and this is for the new Ishizu cards that came out earlier this morning in Master Duel. Now, what we are doing today is add the new Ishizu cards with the most toxic archetype there is, and that is the Runicks. So the Runick archetype allows you to banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck out of play. The Ishizu cards allows you to discard the pile from your opponent's top deck to the graveyard. Now, that is really a fun feat to see if ever you are the one doing this. But if you're actually the opponent, it's not going to be fun. Furthermore, the plan for this type of deck, or the plan that I want to have for this deck, is not run any floodgate or whatsoever, because basically most of the people nowadays are running floodgates with the new Runick. But for me, I would like to have it less toxic, but it's still a toxic deck by far. Like I said, let's have a quick recap on what they do. So the Keldo and the Modora allows you to recover cards from the graveyard back to your deck. The Kelbeck and the Agido, or the Agido, allows you to send cards from your deck to the graveyard. If you have a copy of Exchange of the Spirits in the graveyard, then you'll have more cards to discard to the graveyard, and you'll have more cards to return from your graveyard to your deck. Only a one-off for this deck, and because it's gonna be paired with Gravekeeper's Trap. Now, this new card was actually added in the new selection pack, and by far it is really good. So while Exchange of the Spirit is in your graveyard, your opponent can't activate the effects of a card in the graveyard or spell summon monsters from the graveyard. So that's one effect there that's really important, or one keynote that's really important. Second of all, or two effects for this card is, first of all, you can discard one card from your hand and then get a hold of a copy of any Earth Fairy monster, which is basically your Ishizu cards from your deck to your hand. You can actually discard that specific Ishizu card to the graveyard and prompt its effect. Prompting it's maybe to discard a card or return cards from your graveyard back to your deck. So it's either one of those. So the main deck composed of 3 copies of Herald of Orange Light, and this by far really good, just having to send a fairy monster from your hand to the graveyard, which is usually your Ishizu cards, to negate an effect. And then 3 copies of Diviner of the Herald allows you to send a copy of any fairy monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is also your Ishizu cards, to prompt its effect. Or even you can go for Elder Entity Entes, which can pop a card on the field. If ever this is going to be a level 6 or whatever level it is, you can go for another Synchro Summon for a level 8 Chaos Ruler, milling 5 cards more from your deck. Or you can go for a Bar on the Floor if you ever want protection during your opponent's turn. Other than that, for the Runick archetype, we're doing 2 copies of Runick Fountain, and that's basically it. The other Runick cards is semi-limited also because of the previous banners. So we're just gonna revolve around 2 copies for each. Now, the other inclusion for this deck is 3 copies of Hand Destruction. Now, if you have other cards that can allow you to draw more cards, like for example, Chicken Game or even Upstart Goblin, go for it. This type of deck that I'm actually making is just a quick rundown on how the Ishizu cards work. You can go with another archetype if you wish. It's just one thing that I just pop up to my mind that I want to use with the new Ishizu cards. If you want to be toxic, go for this type of build. Now, my reason for having Hand of Destruction is allowing you to draw 2 more cards and then discarding another 2. So that is, if ever you draw into one of the Ishizu cards, you'll just prompt its effect. So that's really good. So extra deck, 3 copies of Hugin, 1 copy of Munin. Now, if you have another copy, just go for 2 Munins and remove a copy of either the Minerva or even a copy of the Baguska. But I think Baguska is really good. Just remove the copy of Cheng Ying. Sorry, just Cheng Ying. As of now, since I already have 1 copy of Munin, I'll work with 1 Munin. 1 Elder Entity Entes, 3 copies of Jerry, 1 copy of Chaos Ruler just for the mill. Bar on the Floor, Cheng Ying, because I have a copy of this. You can go with another copy of any monster that you wish. 1 Minerva allows you to mill more cards. Baguska, really good if you want to stall a turn if you don't have the necessary materials or resources. 1 also the Earth Charmer, and lastly 1 Nightmare Unicorn. So that is basically your main deck, guys. Let's move towards replays and have a quick rundown on how this deck actually works. Let's go. So here we are, guys, with the replays. I'll just showcase 3 replays for you guys today, just to give you a quick insight on how the new Ishizu cards work if you're still new to Master Duel. So anyways, we got a starting hand of 1 Modora, 1 Agido, 1 Destruction, 1 Slumber, and 1 Dispelling. Now, I would, so a quick disclosure on this is, I tend to have a ton of misplay for this deck. So yeah, not just this replay, but a ton in some. So anyways, Modora can discard a copy of Agido. Agido will prompt its effect, sending cards to the graveyard. Banish the effect of Keldo and return back to our deck a couple of cards. So the best thing about the Keldo and Chocolis, the Modora allows you to return back resources. That's very, very good. Now we got a hold of one Yugen and then get a hold of our field spell. We Runick Slumber, target our Yugen, and return back 3 copies for a 3-copy draw. Normal summon Diviner of the Herald, sending our copy of our Kelbeck. Kelbeck will prompt its effect, sending another copy. Now, most of the games that I'm going up against is people are using 60 cards, so alright, sure. So, anyways, there we go. We're on the floor to the field with Modora on the graveyard. Modora will then recycle back 3 cards. That's basically how you do it every time. So there we go. We're going up against an Orcus deck, which is really good, by the way. That discard was very scary because most of the Orcus archetypes has a floating effect. So that is one scary deck if ever I'm just gonna mill it with the help of the new Ishizu cards. So anyways, our opponent is gonna go first. Foxy Chun sending to the graveyard, sending a copy of Xiamin. Go for freezing curses, negate that its effect, and I think that's the time he bricked. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's the basic insight on how to play the deck. So second game, guys, yes, most of the games are gonna be just people scooping to this deck. Mainly it's because it's really toxic, and once they know they are out of cards or they brick into it, so it's not gonna be fun for them. So anyways, we got a starting hand of 1 Diviner, 1 Modora, 1 Kelbeck, 2 copies of Colibri Grave. Jesus. So, there we go. Modora will prompt its effect, sending Kelbeck to the grave, and then getting a hold of our Gravekeeper's Trap. Keldo will use effect, milling more cards. And knowing the number of cards, 10 cards has been milled to the graveyard just because of Kelbeck and Guido. There we go. Use the effect of Diviner, sending Modora to the graveyard, and then recycling back cards back to our deck. You use the effect of Gravekeeper's Trap, getting a copy of Agido, and use this on our turn later on. Summon Baron on the floor to the field, and that's basically our end board there with just 1 negate and no runic cards. So this might happen from a time if you're gonna use this type of deck. But I'm pretty sure you guys already know what you were planning with the new Ishizu cards. So, it's really up to you. This is just a quick rundown on how to use the new cards anyways. So, there we go. Opponent's gonna use Into the Void. So, he wants to mill a ton of cards to his side. So, we are going up against a burn deck, by the way. So, like I said, when I saw the Dark Lord Nurse, then I'm pretty sure it's the burn deck. So we're just gonna fast forward this because he'll just set a ton of cards here. And 17 cards more. Can't do anything. So on our turn, there we go. Use the effect of Runick Golden Droplet, drawing 1 card, banish 4. So he has 12 more. Use the effect of Gravekeeper's Trap, sending Kelbeck to the grave. Now, I should have gone for Agido. I really thought that I got the correct one. Also, I misplayed here. So, the Exchange of the Spirit wasn't supposed to be set. So, lucky. I'm sorry for that. Anyway, so, yeah, we won this game because the guy just scooped. But, yeah, that's the point. You don't remove this from the graveyard because it has a lot of good effects if your cards are in the graveyard. Especially for this one. And you don't activate this if ever that's the case. So there we go, 1 card left, and that's basically the game right there. So just milling a ton of cards for your opponent and then banishing cards. Even so, it's just really a fun deck to play with, but very toxic, I would say. I'm just just thinking about this a while ago was really funny to think about it. So that's basically it. He ended his turn there, and all I need to do is just end the turn, and then basically that's it. Okay guys, so last game, and this is by far all the same as the other ones. People just scoop. So Kelbeck, 1 tip, 1 slumber, 1 smiting storm, and 1 gravekeeper's trap. So it doesn't matter if you draw into this. It's much better actually if you draw into this. So Runick tip first, getting a copy of our fountain. Fountain's gonna be activated. We're going up against, I'm pretty sure this is a trap deck. Runick smiting, spell summon the Munin, getting a hold of our, getting a copy of our, what you call this? That continuous spell card, I mean, for the Runicks. There we go. The Allure. The Allure. Kelbeck will use this effect, sending more cards to the graveyard. So a trap trick deck. Gravekeeper's trap is going to be set. And that's basically it. 1 Agido also. So we can use that one with the help of Gravekeeper's trap. Sending our Agido. And then using the effect of Slumber to banish more cards or milling more cards. There we go. And since the Allure is on the field, it will prompt its effect. There we go. So the ability to recycle more cards is really insane for the new Ishizu cards. Or yeah, all you need to have is a copy of Medora and Keldo in your deck. Ugh. So this is actually the turning point of it. Because I was reading the graveyard, and basically he has a copy of 1 evenly matched. Because there was 2 in the graveyard, I was like, oh, he has evenly matched, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that's basically it. Yugi will be active. Spell summon to the field has been banished because of the trap trick monster. Regardless, it's fine. So a ton of misplays as well for this game. Because, yeah, keep on clicking the activation ones. So that's bad. That's my bad on my part. But yeah, it went well actually, even though I had a lot of misplays or mishaps. There we go. Traps gonna be set on the back row. And that's a clear field right there, just because of evenly matched. Effect of Medora, sending our copy of Keldo or Agido. Agido will then send to the graveyard a ton of cards. Now that's basically it. I really thought I really wanted. It will prompt the effect of Keldo. I forgot this is a quick play card. So yeah, that was bad on my part. That was really bad. So I should have gone. The play for this is use the effect of Keldo, drop the Kelbeck, and then the basic stuff. Regardless, it's fine. We can just use the effect of Elder Editiantes from the Diviner, popping the Link monster. There we go. So that's basically it. So we almost lost this game because of a tiny mishap that I did. But yeah, last card on our opponent's deck. All we need to do is just set cards for a defense and just end our turn. Which, that's what we did. The 1 Jerry on the field and set our Keldo, and that's basically the game right there. So that is the gameplay. So those are the replays, and that is the deck profile for you guys today. Leave a like and subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content, and we'll have more contents like this in the near future. I couldn't do a live stream a while ago. I got busy and I got I got something else to do in regards to the kids, so I prioritize more on that rather than the live stream. But I'll make it up to you. Hopefully the next day I'll post another schedule. Hopefully that will be okay with you guys. But anyways, that is it for today. Keep safe, good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next deck profile. Peace. Bye bye.